Welcome to this week's St. Clair County Board of Commissioners meeting. The types of business that occur at these meetings include public hearings, official voting on actions by the Board of Commissioners, presentations by departments of the county, and recognition of service that makes our county great. As your elected representatives, the St. Clair County Board of Commissioners is committed to improving the lives of all our residents while preparing county government to meet the demands of the future. In order to do that, we need to share our thoughts and plans with you. More importantly, we need you to share your thoughts, concerns, and opinions with us. We encourage you to come and experience the process by attending any of these meetings. They occur every first and third Thursday of the month at 6 p.m. at the St. Clair County Administration Building at 200 Grand River Avenue in Port Huron.
Okay, we're going to get started. We are going to call the public hearing of the 2013 Administrator Controller proposed budget. Please.
Would you like a brief presentation on the budget? Just kind of a general overview?
You want some information? You want to talk? Yeah, Bill, you can give us a little.
I have it. Actually, if you'd like a short presentation, Carrie's got some brief comments she'd like to share with you.
Yes, we'd like to hear that.
Where do you want those?
Especially since she's all ready.
There have not been any changes since we proposed the budget to you a month ago. We are currently proposing a balanced budget. This budget does propose the elimination of 28 full-time positions and 7 part-time positions. All the departments and elected officials, all the budget targets were met that were rolled out early in the summer. And
Yeah, I don't know, does anybody have any specifics? I mean, we've had lots of meetings with our elected officials. I know if any of you commissioners had questions, you were able to talk to Carrie and Bill regarding it. Bill, did you have anything that you wanted to add to it at all?
Just let the board and everyone else know that this was a particularly difficult year. The cuts went pretty deep this year. You're all very much aware of some of the impact that it's going to have on the organization. We fully suspect, though, based on the cooperation between the various department heads and elected officials, that the service delivery will not be impacted by these changes. We've spent a lot of time working with those elected officials. I just want to thank Carrie for all of the time that she put in working with the department heads and to try and pull this together, and certainly the input and the cooperation of the board.
Yeah, just a general question. Bill, do you think that the change that we made in the last couple of years on putting this budget together with the input from the elected officials and the department heads more or less coming up with those dollars on their own and kind of working with us on the budget has been an improvement, and are they reacting good to those changes?
I think it has been an improvement. Certainly, you know, the fact that you don't have department heads or large crowds of constituents showing up on what we used to call beggars' night certainly indicates that everyone's happy with what the results are. Getting the buy-in and the support early on in the process. As you all know, we begin this process in late winter or early spring of every year and start rolling out some target numbers and getting all the other elected officials to agree to those numbers. And once that happens, then it's really up to them to come up with how they're going to do it. And you know, they know their operations best. And if there's going to be cooperation occurring to help adjust to those numbers, those elected officials and department heads are best to do it on their own rather than having it pushed down to them, the cooperation. So I think the process has worked out very well. I think next year the process will be similar to it. You know, the numbers are going to be deep again next year as well. We may have to be a little bit more focused in some of the reductions that we're going to have to make. But we've already been talking about potential strategies to address next year. And I think as we get closer to developing those final numbers in late winter, early spring, we'll probably have, I think, some news that will make it a little easier for everyone.
Any other questions from any commissioners? If anybody from the audience wants to address the budget, there is another piece here for the citizens wishing to address. This is specifically to address the budget that we are adopting tonight. We do have a card that you will need to fill out over there. Is there anybody that would like to address the budget? Seeing none, we are going to close the public hearing of the 2013 budget.
You need a motion for that, Mr. Chair?
Yes.
I would move that we close the budget meeting, here, public hearing.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay. Getting into our regular meeting, could you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Heidemann.
Here.
Commissioner Greatop.
Here.
Commissioner London.
Here.
Commissioner Rushing.
Here.
Commissioner Samasco. Here. Commissioner Ward. Chairperson Bohm.
Here. Any additions, deletions, changes to the agenda?
Mr. Chair, I would like to make an addition, and that is to add at 11N, revisions to the certificate of the 2012 tax rate request.
I have a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion to accept the agenda.
Motion.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, moving on. Item number 4, the approval of the item number 5, the minutes of the previous meeting. Do I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I would move that the minutes of the October 18th, 2012 commission meeting and the November 1st standing committee meeting be approved and filed.
Support.
Discussion on any of those? All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Item number 7, the consent, 6, no proclamations. Item number 7, consent agenda.
At this time, I'd like to move to approve items 7A through 7E on the consent agenda.
Support.
Discussion on any of that? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, moving on. Item number 8, reports of standing and special committees. Commissioner Samasco.
No report.
Commissioner Heidemann.
None at this time.
Commissioner Long.
Go to pass this evening, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Rushing.
Just a short one. I'm going to bring up the roads again. Our St. Clair County Road Commission, I think they do a great job. And the 2 road crossings that I brought up, CN Railroad, MDOT did an excellent job on Bauman Road in Columbus Township and also Rattle Run Road. So we finally got those in, and 2 brand-new railroad crossing, complete rebuilds.
No report at this time, sir.
The only thing I'm going to just touch a little bit on is we had our actuarial report today that was handed out. I know a couple of the commissioners attended regarding the healthcare piece of it for the retirees and also the pension piece. And we will be setting up a series of some meetings, I guess, just to have that information to go over it. And it's you know, we're in pretty good shape on the pension side, but there are still some of the retiree health care issues that we're going to have to continue to address. So there'll be more to come on that. Moving on, unfinished business. Citizens wishing to address the board. Are there any citizens wishing to address the board this evening? Jay, you had something. I guess we can do it at that time. That was, you can read that.
Sure.
The record received that today. Sure. Into the microphone.
This is to just be read into the record. Commissioners, on behalf of my family and 13 fellow employees, I am asking you to please reconsider the proposed reduction in hours for all part-time St. Clair County Library employees. During these tough economic times, a financial loss of this magnitude will cause undue hardship on us. This proposal is not a reduction of total hours for the library system. It is taking hours from current employees and giving them to 10 proposed new hires. I would appreciate your support for not instituting this proposal as is. HR 3200. Employers with more than 50 full-time workers, defined as working 30 hours a week, can easily avoid this law by reducing work hours, as paraphrased from factcheck.org. It seems that this goal could easily be met with a 30-minute per week reduction for the 4 of us scheduled at 30 hours. The other 10 employees currently scheduled over 22.5 hours but below 30 hours should also be allowed to maintain those hours. Loss in pay if reduced 1/2 hour per week, $7.24 weekly, $29 monthly, $376.48 yearly. Loss in pay if reduced 1 full 7.5 hour day per week, $100 weekly, $400 to $500 monthly, $4,800 to $6,000 yearly. I understand that balancing the budget in the current economic situation is a great challenge, but I implore you to implement a policy with the least amount of financial hardship on your workforce. Thank you for your support. Sincerely, Kathy Richardson, 7207 Bluebell, Clay, Michigan, 48001. When asked how this cut in hours will affect them personally, the following responses were given by fellow coworkers. Veronica Ruck. Wow. My husband is laid off, both kids are in college, and we have a house payment. 2 cars on the road, insurance and utility bills. This is truly going to hurt. And if I have to work 4 days to get these hours, that will not be good because I am not able to pick up another job. I also won't be able to pick up extra hours like I do now. I work 58 hours in 2 weeks. If I pick up extra time, which I do, I get 63 hours in 2 weeks. So with a cut, I will lose 13 to 18 hours over 2 weeks. At approximately $14 an hour, I will lose $182 to $252 every 2 weeks. That is huge for me. Joni Leroy. This is the impact that the loss of income will have on my family. I may end up transferring from a place that I have worked at for 10 years and have come to love to a different branch so that I can not only save on gas money, but be closer to home so that I will be able to quick change for the 3rd job that I will have to take on to make ends meet. Right now, I work 2 jobs and will have to acquire a 3rd one if this cut happens. I have already given up many non-essentials, cable TV, phone, and etc., so that I would be able to live on these 2 incomes and still be able to have time for my family and my volunteering. I will be losing 2 full day pay per pay period. There is no way I can cut back on anything else to make up for that. Sue Coleman. I had planned to apply for Social Security in 2 years at the age of 62, but continue working to help pay off our mortgage sooner. As many citizens, we are underwater with our mortgage. The 25% decrease in my income over the next 2 years, which equals $10,000, will make that impossible to do. Yet plans are to offer 10 individuals our 15 hours, 2 full days per pay period, thus creating more working poor positions. This reduction in hours will make it impossible to regain the same quality of life we maintain now. As I understand this situation, the library county is willing to pay a fine for not offering us health care while we suffer a loss of income and the increase in debt to pay for our own health care. Forgive me on the last name, Nancy Godinez. I am a single mom with 3 sons in college, 2 of them living at home, and another son in middle school. My part-time job at the library is my only source of income, except for small child support payments that are so sporadic I can't figure them into my budget. One way I have supplemented my income is by picking up additional hours when they become available, at the main or at the branches. With a cap on how many hours I can work, however, I am discouraged, as this limits my earning ability and makes a difficult job, that of meeting my family's needs, more difficult. I'm sorry, there are more on the back page. In addition, if health insurance is going to be mandatory under HR 3200, I will be doubly hit. I will have to buy some sort of coverage for myself and my sons, and I will have fewer dollars to do it with. My car insurance already costs nearly a third of my income. This limits my ability to pay for my family's food, housing, energy expenses, and health needs. Judy Weaver. It's not like the library county is taking away my job. My job is still there. There will be new hires to do it. We have had a pay freeze for the past 5+ years. In the meantime, gas has doubled, groceries have doubled, and insurance is ridiculous. I have 2 kids in college and both live at home. My husband and I were counting our blessings that we were able to keep the house during this economic slump. This may no longer be possible. Carl Burkett. The proposed hours cut has me torn. Part of me is looking forward to having days instead of hours off, and yet I am not looking forward to the lost wages. My husband works very hard to support us, and I have always felt that whatever I can contribute will or can alleviate any of his stress. My paycheck pays for the groceries, the gas, and then if anything is left over, it goes into the savings for emergencies. With 2 teenage boys, there isn't a lot left over after groceries. Looking for a second part-time job isn't an option for me.
Okay, we're going to move on.
A question, if I could, Jeff?
Sure.
Bill, this issue with the reducing the part-time, that was recommended by the director of the library, correct?
I'm sorry, the director?
Recommended by the director of the library?
Yes, based on advice that she's getting from administration.
Are they in the same position as the other elected officials and department heads where they were given a number and they manage their number? Is that part of that?
This is actually an effort that the library board is taking to comply with the Patient Protection and Affordable Health Care Act.
Okay, so that was the other piece of it, I thought. So it's not so much related to budget cutting, it's more related to the foreseeable imposition of Obamacare or Affordable Health Care Act. And
Correct.
then this is likely to occur, not only, this is the first one, but I anticipate there'll probably be other departments and areas that will have the same thing as they roll out?
Yes, this will impact most every department within the organization.
And if we were not to do this, there was financial costs involved with healthcare provision and so forth, that was the reason.
Correct.
All right, thank you.
Howard.
So the suggestion then is that if they do not do this and they pull it out completely, then the only penalty they will have is they'll have to pay a fine for not providing the health care.
If we have employees, part-time employees that are working in excess of 30 hours or more, and we do not offer health care to them, then yes, we will have to pay a penalty or a fine.
Dave.
Yeah, just a couple things. This is not only in St. Clair County, this is going to be nationwide. This is going to be happening everywhere. These are actions that are been advised to the county board. But if you could you get me a copy of that and just whenever, give me a copy of the letters so I can read those, have them in hard copy.
Okay. It's going to be part of the minutes now.
Bill?
Yeah. We're talking about cutting the part-time employees back to how many hours, Bill?
Well, when we began discussing this, the original discussion was let's reduce them to about 22 hours. One of the challenges that we will have with compliance is there will be audits conducted monthly of county payroll records, and they'll be looking at all of the part-time positions throughout the organization, and they will be averaging the number of hours worked. So we know there are certain departments that, corrections is a perfect example, where because of some of the demands that are placed on them, many of those employees may very quickly and easily go from 29 hours to 35 or 36 hours because of the scheduling issues that they face. We wanted to provide a buffer. So rather than telling every department, okay, you've got to cut everybody at 29 hours, we decided we need a buffer in there of some size in order to ensure that when we go through and we do this monthly audit and we average across the entire organization for all of the part-time employees, that we don't exceed the 30 hours. So that's why that number was dropped down below.
So you've allowed for some overage if it happens, we're still safe. Do we know enough about it yet to say that if somebody went in and put in 31 hours one week and 22 the next week, but at the end of the month the average was below, then we're safe? If the average creeps up above it, are we then fined? Do we know this yet? Do we know some of those details?
Well, one of the questions that we have right now is, will these audits be done? We know they're going to be done monthly. The reports have to be filed, will be audited monthly, but will they be looking at a weekly period? Will they be looking at a pay period, which for us is a 2-week period? Or will they be doing the averaging over a 1-month or 30-day period? That we don't know. And certainly that would have an impact on how we develop our strategy and how we move forward with this.
If we move forward with this now, could it be adjusted later if we found that things worked in our favor, of course?
Certainly.
One thing I talked to Bill a little bit about today, this isn't just the library, there's other departments, and I think you actually, when we get to the library manning table, you had a caveat to the changes, but what was your thought on this, Bill? You had a...
Well, I could certainly share with you. I'll just go into what my recommendation would be relative to the library board's request that their manning table be adjusted. We would certainly, administration certainly supports the request made by the library board that the manning table adjustments be made, including those that are being made to address the Affordable Care Act. However, I would request that the library board hold off implementing those changes that are related to compliance with the Affordable Health Care Act until we develop a solid strategy. And one of the we've been meeting fairly regularly to talk about this issue. The HR department has been doing a lot of digging, a lot of calling to other agencies throughout the state to find out what they're doing to comply. One of the things we've discovered is there's probably about 4 departments within this organization that will be impacted the most by this. What I would like to do is sit down with those 4 department heads, share with them exactly what the requirements of the law are, what the implications are if we don't comply, what the implications to them and their budget will be if they don't comply. There are opportunities for some of these departments to cooperate with one another in sharing those hours to ensure that we don't exceed that limit of 30. But what it requires is those department heads to be aware of how others are scheduling their staff, be aware of what some of the priorities within the organization are, and then move forward in developing that strategy. We may go from 22 hours to 25 hours. I don't know at this point. A lot of it is going to depend on what the needs of those 4 key departments may be. I intend to get those 4 departments together within the next week or 2 weeks to try and resolve this. And then we should be in a position where if the library board wants to move forward with the the implementation of the remainder of this and begin the recruiting process, if that's necessary, that they can do so immediately. We're probably looking at sometime around Thanksgiving that they could then begin the recruitment process. And obviously, if departments need to start hiring additional part-timers to put themselves in compliance with this new act on January 1st, they're going to have to start the recruitment process very, very quickly.
Jeff, I have another question for Bill and sort of a comment too. I think it was the next to the last letter that Mr. Dwyer read where I thought the person said they were going to lose health care. And so my question is, at 30 hours, they don't get health care now, right?
It didn't say anything about loss of
That's the way
health
I read that's why I thought I heard the letter say that they would be losing the health care for their family. That's not so, is it?
Yeah, part-timers currently do not receive
Okay,
health care.
that's my question. Thank you.
Okay. Steve?
2 other points I discovered today from the presentation from the folks we had in on our retiree health care package, that the administrative rules that implement the Affordable Care Act were withheld until today. So essentially, when you say the devil's in the details, all of those federal administrative regulations that will show us and guide us as to how this is applied were withheld from the public until after the election.
Correct.
So it doesn't create a lot of controversy and another additional, political issue. But in any event, that is what we're stuck with, and now we'll go forward with that. And one of the confusing areas for me was this issue, you talk about the penalty, and I've tried to gather information on this. It looked like somehow if you had a sector of your part-time employees that violated that provision, not only would you be penalized and pay the penalty for those individuals, but it was broader than that. It would apply to like a number of, so it could be just one or two or a small group of employees, and you get a penalty for a whole bunch. Is that
Correct.
Is that true?
Yes.
And that's,
From what we know so far.
from what we can tell. So that's why we're trying to be, protect the county fiscally from. And it's unfortunate that this is the way it is, but I don't see any other way around it. Director recommended it, administration
Well,
recommended it.
and we're not on there yet, but I think when we get to the library manning table that Bill's got, we can do a motion, but with what Bill's recommendations, get everybody in, sit down, figure this thing out, and give him a little bit of leeway to, do what he has to do. But anyways, we're going to move, no unfinished business. We'll jump into item number A, the library manning table. Do I have a motion?
This time I would move to approve the library request to add 10 part-time positions to their manning table.
But Bill, you wanted an attachment to that motion, I guess,
Yes, that those positions that are being added to comply with the Affordable Care Act, the implementation of the recruitment process be withheld until this group has met, and those.
That's an
Probably
administrative
looking
issue.
for some very specific language, aren't you? And I'm not helping you.
No, I got it.
You got it? Okay.
Implementation being withheld until the.
So that's,
You have the
Strategy
ability
is
to have.
developed.
Right, yeah, there you go.
You don't need that to be part of the motion, do you, Bill? Is that?
Actually, I believe the
Well,
clerk has
we could
that.
add it.
Then I need to amend it to add that language, and we need a second.
Okay.
any further
I'll
discussion?
second the amended motion.
Any further discussion on that? David?
Just, I think this is just going to be what's going to happen throughout the United States, not only at the government level, like I stated earlier, but small businesses too. And this is going to be very expensive. People are going to get more underemployed, and it's going to cost this country a lot of money because they're not going to have the money to spend, and things are going to get back. This is going to get very expensive.
If you got over 50 employees, it's gonna impact everybody over 50 employees, right, Bill?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I had a motion and a second.
Is this for just the amendment to the motion, or is this
Just the motion.
asking to vote on the actual motion?
There actually, there was not an amendment.
There-
The motion was stated to include the implementation. Correct, Commissioner?
Yes, and it was seconded as such.
Howard?
I guess I'm a little uncomfortable voting for this. You know, I just feel like we don't have enough information yet about the total impact of this on not just the library, the people that are working part-time, but all the other staff people.
Well, and this obviously puts a hold on the ability to hire, and I guess that Bill gets a chance to figure it out, and then they can roll out their plan. I mean, Steve?
One other point too, Howard, there's a look back. Once they go back and do their audit, they're gonna look back, and if we don't have it done for a period of time, is that correct, Bill?
Yes.
We need to get ahead of it. We don't have time to sit back and say, let's see what happens and fix it later, because if we'll find ourselves in an audit, then they look back beyond where we are, and,
This could happen, though, with a number of our departments. That's my point.
well, that's my understanding of how this works, and we can anticipate other departments will fall in place because it has the same effect. And which are the four major departments, Bill, that you're concerned about?
It would be the library, the sheriff's department, the health department, and there's a division of the courts as well.
And if something comes up, as Bill asked, later that we find some way to fix it or do something different, we can always change it if we're comfortable with that, so.
So these other departments, when are we gonna be addressing that?
Bill is gonna be getting with them here really in the very near future, and sitting down with everybody and coming back with some of them.
Okay,
I would like to address this to the library board and applaud them for getting out in front of this and getting it done, and I know how difficult this is for everybody. And I feel like my hands are tied. I feel like I can't make a decision I would like to make, and I'm being forced into something by somebody in Washington. And if President Obama is listening to this right now, I would like to lodge a protest, and I'll leave it at that.
All right, roll call.
Commissioner Samasco.
Yes.
Commissioner Greatop.
Can I vote yes under protest?
Yes, under protest, but
Commissioner Heidemann.
No.
Commissioner London.
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing.
Yes.
Chairperson Bohm.
yes. Moving on. Steve, did you get Samasco? Okay.
That was 1A.
Item B, environmental health temporary food fees.
Mr. Chairman, at this time, I would move to approve the temporary food service license increase to $92 plus the $8 state fee, and the nonprofit fee of $52 plus the $5 state fee, and the late notification fee of $46 and $26 respectively.
Can I have a second?
I'll second.
Any questions on this?
Just one. I'm going to support it, but I still didn't get my answers. I'm not sure this is going to cover the actual cost that the county is having to provide these services. So I still haven't had that answered, but it's a small amount of money, and we should be doing it.
Okay, any other comments? Roll call?
Commissioner Heidemann.
Yes.
Commissioner Samasco.
No.
Commissioner Greatop.
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing.
Yes.
Commissioner London.
Yes.
Chairperson Bohm.
Yes. Item number C, the service agreement between the Health Department and the Veteran Affairs.
Mr.
Committee.
Chairman, I would move to approve the service agreement between the St. Clair County Health Department and the St. Clair County Department of Veterans Affairs for the community outreach and referral services to waive the 6 months waiting period and hiring exemption for said position.
Support?
Discussion on this? Had the presentation. Roll call?
Commissioner London.
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing.
Yes.
Commissioner Samasco.
Yes.
Commissioner Heidemann.
Yes.
Commissioner Greatop.
Yes.
Chairman Bohm.
Yes. Item number D, the 2013 Community Corrections Contract.
Mr. Chairman, at this time, I would move to approve the Community Corrections Grant Agreement in the amount of $378,279 for the term of 10/1/12 through 9/30/2013.
Second?
Discussion on this? Roll call?
Commissioner Greatop.
Yes.
Commissioner Heidemann.
Yes.
Commissioner Samasco.
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing.
Yes.
Commissioner London.
Yes.
Chairman Bohm.
Yes. Item number E, the 2013 Day Reporting Supervision Agreement.
This time I would move to approve the supervision agreement with the Huron House in the amount of $32,000 for term running from 10/1/12 through 9/30/13.
Support?
Discussion on this?
I think I had a question. I think the address was wrong. I can't remember where it was now. On the address of the
Should
Huron
be
House?
24th Street.
Should be 24th Street.
42nd, yeah, it's
Yeah.
directly
So if I
across
just
from-
wanted to make, if we could make that correction somehow in the motion? Do we need a motion to change
Yeah,
that?
they can fix that, that's just a typo.
I just noticed the address was wrong.
Clerical. Yeah.
Yeah. Any discussion? Roll call?
Commissioner Greatop.
Yes.
Commissioner Samasco.
Yes.
Commissioner Heidemann.
Yes.
Commissioner London.
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing.
Yes.
Chairman Bohm.
Yes. Item number F, the Mental Health Court Grant for 2013 contract approval.
This time, I'd like to move to approve the Mental Health Court Grant Agreement in the amount of $228,700 for a term of 10/1/2012 through 9/30/2013.
Support?
Discussion? Roll call?
Commissioner Rushing.
Yes.
Commissioner London.
Yes.
Commissioner Greatop.
Yes.
Commissioner Heidemann.
Yes.
Commissioner Samasco.
Yes.
Chairman Bohm.
Yes. Item G, the Landfill Regulatory Compliance Monitoring Agreement.
Mr. Chair, I would like to move the approval of the professional service agreement with Galter Associates Incorporated for regulatory monitoring of the landfill for a 3-year term with a 2 optional 1-year renewal in the amount of $134,250.
Support.
Discussion.
Is that per year or for the 3-year term, Howard?
It says it's for a 3-year term, if I interpret this correctly.
That's for the 3 years? Okay.
36 months.
Anything else? Roll call.
Commissioner Heidemann.
Yes.
Commissioner Greatop.
Yes?
Commissioner London.
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing.
Yes.
Commissioner Samasco.
Yes.
Chairman Bohm.
Yes. The Brownfield redevelopment grant application.
Mr. Chairman, I would move to approve the Brownfield redevelopment grant application in the amount of $1 million.
Support.
Actually, this doesn't have a match on it at all or anything, does it?
I don't believe it was a match.
All in
Yeah.
favor? Does it have a match on it?
But it's in kind. and-
Roll call.
Commissioner Samasco.
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing.
Yes.
Commissioner London.
Yes.
Commissioner Greatop.
Yes?
Commissioner Heidemann.
Yes.
Chairman Bohm.
Yes. Item number I, the consulting agreement for the Smiths Creek landfill operation.
Mr. Chair, I would like to move the professional service agreement with James R. Loxton in the amount of $20,000 for a term of 11/01/2012 through 12/31/2013 for consulting services for landfill operations.
Support.
We have a workshop with Mr. Logston on
30th?
November 29th, Thursday, 5:30 here, so, and make sure you contact the new incomers too. Roll call.
Commissioner Rushing.
Yes.
Commissioner Heidemann.
Yes.
Commissioner Samasco.
Yes.
Commissioner Greatop.
Yes?
Commissioner London.
Yes.
Chairman Bohm.
Yes. Item number J, the Goodles Park bunker building renovation.
This time, I'd like to move to award a contract for the Goodles Park Bunker Building renovation to Brown Builders Contracting in the amount of $29,374.80.
Support?
Roll call, please.
Commissioner London.
Yes.
Commissioner Heidemann.
Yes.
Commissioner Samasco.
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing.
Yes.
Commissioner Greatop.
Yes?
Chairman Bohm.
Yes. Item number K, the Parks and Rec Commission Bridge to Bay sign and trail improvements.
This time I would move to award a contract for the Bridge to Bay Trail signage and marking project to MLS Signs Incorporated in the amount of $103,000, $103,564.34.
Second?
Discussion. Those are those $1,400.
145, actually.
Roll call.
20 months, just kidding.
And I talked with Mark. He's going to get some more information of the spacing and all that for me on the signs.
You mean where to put the decimal point?
Sometimes.
Commissioner Greatop.
Yes, sir.
Commissioner London.
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing.
Yes.
Commissioner Heidemann.
Yes.
Commissioner Samasco.
Yes.
Chairman Bohm.
Yes.
Who
Item num-
seconded that?
I did.
Did you? Okay. Thank you.
Howard.
Item number L, the
Commissioner Howard
expansion
Heidemann.
of the fiber to the air industrial park.
Mr. Chairman, at this time, I would move to approve the the addendum to the professional service contract with Utility Services Authority LLC in the amount not to exceed $110,000 for the installation of fiber to the airport industrial park contingent upon receipt of grant dollars under the Federal Port Security Grant.
Second?
Discussion. Roll call.
Commissioner Samasco.
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing.
Yes.
Commissioner London.
Yes.
Commissioner Heidemann.
Yes.
Commissioner Greatop.
Yes?
Chairman Bohm.
Yes.
Just a clarification. We're going to try to hook everything up at the airport to fiber, right? The road
Well-
commission, the drain commission?
Yeah.
Yes.
ours-
Excellent.
Correct.
Excellent.
Mr. Chairman? Just a quick note, and I should have said it earlier, but I just happened to see my notes here. There was a misprint on the amount there where the DTE pole rent at $6, 144 poles, and they had typed in $684. That should be $864. He transposed those two numbers. if you add them all up, you'll get to the right figure.
Okay.
It's just, you can make that notation on the DTE rental of the pool space.
Very good. Okay, moving on, the resolution 1243, the adoption of the 2013 budget.
Mr. Chairman, I would move to adopt the resolution 1243, which is the adoption of the 2013 budget.
I have a second.
Second.
Any discussion? David?
The resolution says 1246, and he's reading 1243. Which is it?
I'm assuming it's probably the 1246, and it's probably just the typo.
1243.
I have 1246 on my paperwork.
I have 1243.
Your official document.
They did have a revised sheet, maybe the first one had it wrong.
This one is 404.
They're talking about this document here.
Anyways, support of the adoption of the 2013 budget, whether it's 43 or 46, it's not gonna make any difference.
The clerk is
Straight.
going to get that corrected.
It's going to go 46.
Any discussion?
You want me
Yeah,
to
we've talked a
revise,
lot
change
about
the
this.
motion to 46?
He's been changed already.
Okay.
Let's do a roll call.
1 second, Chairman. Commissioner Heidemann,
Yes.
Commissioner Graytop,
Yes.
Commissioner London,
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing,
Yes.
Commissioner Samasco,
Yes.
Chairman Bohm.
Yes. Item number N, the revisions to the certification of the 2012 tax rate request.
Mr. Chair, I would move to approve the revisions to the certification of the 2012 tax rate request.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed. Moving on, item number 12, Mr. Kaufman.
First thing I wanted to cover was the actuarial report, but you've heard a little bit about that already. You will be receiving copies of the actuarial report, those of you that were not at the meeting this morning. If you'd prefer them electronically instead of hard copy, just let us know and we'll make sure that they're sent to you electronically. They're both in the form of PowerPoint presentations right now. The actuary will be going back and actually, based on the input they received today, producing the final bound reports that will just be tables and text that will be issued as well at a later date. Just to give you an update on what's going on with the convention center, hopefully most of you saw the article that was in the paper, I believe it was today, regarding the Culinary Institute and what's going on out there. If you've driven by lately, you've noticed that the walls are going up. Over the next few weeks, we expect to see some revised project estimates. The project is still capped at $9 million, but certainly as the design of the facility is honed in on, and as individual components of the project are being bid, we expect that the detailed budget document will be adjusted accordingly. But again, keeping in mind what the cap is. Ms. Hepting is actually working on a format for a financial report that will be shared with you monthly on the convention center. Once we start expending construction funds, we'll be sharing that with you. We do actually have two projects that have been bid. One is for soil borings. An award has not been made for that, but the soil borings themselves will be made around the convention center just to determine what we might encounter underground as we start digging the foundations. The other project that's out for bid right now is for site improvements to the south parking lot, primarily to clean up the south parking lot, grind it, the surface, and prepare it for a final surface early next spring. Part of the project includes the parking lots related and the sidewalks related to the Culinary Institute as well. As a result, there are really three partners that are in on this particular bid project. It's being bid under the county's bid guidelines and the board's purchasing procedures and policies. Bids are due in next week. We've been receiving a lot of inquiries, so we expect to get some fairly decent prices, and hopefully we can get this work done before the asphalt plants close later this month. Yes, Commissioner.
Will we be doing all the bidding process for the condominium pieces through our process like that?
And any part of this project that includes our dollars will be using the board's purchasing procedures and bidding procedures, yes.
Good, thank you.
The port security grant has been approved. You know, this is related to the broadband or the fiber project that you approved just a few moments ago. The port security grant has been approved. We have received notice to begin expending. So we will be bidding that, we will be making an award on that particular project. We've got some other aspects of the project that we will be bidding very soon. The attorneys are working on developing purchasing agreements for the building itself. Let's see. And we certainly will be giving periodic reports, either administration will or emergency management will, to the board, just to let you know how that project is going. At the Retirement Healthcare, the Retirement Association luncheon, which was held Tuesday, Blue Cross Blue Shield was present and spent quite a bit of time with the retirees talking about the changes that have been made to their health care plan. All of you will be receiving copies of the material that was shared with the retirees. There are 2 additional educational programs that are scheduled for November 28th and the 30th. If you're interested in attending, please contact the HR department. They will let you know where they are and what time of day they will be held. One of the items that was provided to the retirees and that will be sent out to the board is something that some of you have expressed some interest in. I think it will be very helpful. It's a benefits at a glance, but what it does is it compares traditional Medicare coverage with the program that the retirees did have, which was the PPO4, and alongside that, the Medicare Advantage program that they are moving to effective January 1st. So you'll be able to very quickly see what kind of coverage they had been receiving and what they're being moved to. This was received very well yesterday, so hopefully there's a lot of information in here that you can quickly look through and get an understanding of what kind of benefits they'll be receiving.
Can we get that electronically too, Bill?
Yes, yes we can. You also should be receiving, if you haven't already, a copy of the county's retirement newsletter for November of 2012. If you haven't received this already, keep your eyes out for it. You will be receiving it very, very shortly. I did talk a little bit earlier about the Affordable Health Care Act. If you have any additional questions, please feel free to give me a call. Earlier this week, the Central Dispatch Advisory Board held their meeting. One of the items that's on the agenda that I know the board has been interested in the past is the creation of a backup 911 center. That consumed a lot of the discussion at the meeting this week. The director of the department, Tim Conger, has done a lot of research on this, looking into the options that are available to us, the technology that's necessary, and the cost associated with making those moves as well. The group has decided that there's a little bit of additional information they would like before they make a recommendation to the board. They have scheduled a special meeting for early December. At that point, they believe they'll have all the information that's needed to provide the Board of Commissioners with a pretty solid recommendation on how to move forward with a backup 911 center. So you can expect to receive that recommendation at your meeting in January.
Bill, I'm sorry, Jeff.
No, I've spoke to Tim Conger, previous on this. Was there discussion about talking to some outside counties that have a similar system that we would be able
Yes.
to do a
Yes, there's quite
mutual
a,
aid agreement, I guess?
yes, there's quite a few communities that he has talked to, and I know you're aware of some of them. They include some of our surrounding counties. Some facilities have been looked at that exist right here in the county as well. So there's quite a few opportunities
I
they've
guess
been
just so
exploring.
everybody else, I don't know if I've talked to you about it, I know I spoke to some of you about this, is the backup center. Our dispatch centers and Tim's been there 19 years, and the centers never went down, okay? So, does it make sense to invest in a building here of some sort to put that kind of money? Or does it make sense to try to work out something with an adjoining county that would have a similar system, where you flip the switch, for a better lack of choice of words? In my mind, you have something that is extremely reliable, you're preparing for a perhaps worst-case scenario. Doing something with a sistering county makes a lot more sense than going out and putting a bunch of money. Case in point, I think we spend $11,000 a year maintaining the phone lines at the city of Port Huron, for the potential to back up when, you know, does that really make sense? So those are some of the options that I'd asked Tim to look into.
Would it be such a thing as a reciprocal thing where we do somebody, they,
Yes, that's what we're looking at.
all right, good.
Bill, when you mentioned 911, that made me think of the ambulance. Did we send a couple units to New York?
Try hospital.
Dry hospital center.
Tri-hospital, yes.
Okay.
If we do this, it isn't any hardware cost, it's just potentially reciprocal cost. There's not gonna be no more people hired, it's just gonna be potentially, like Sand Lake County, I imagine we contact Sand Lake and potentially Macomb County.
Probably not large enough, truthfully, with our center, the size that we have. We've really got to look at, I won't say Macomb, but somebody that would be a Lapeer or Macomb, or somebody of that size, and a lot of compatibility, from what I understand, on equipment, you know.
Because I don't think we could be Macomb's backup.
No, but there again, the factor of how often do these things go down? Does it make sense to put a bunch of money into something that essentially never gets used? I would think we'd be, you know, better ahead, trying to work something with a sistering county. And I'm sure that, and I gotta believe, and I don't want to use Macomb, but Macomb or Lapeer, they're gonna have similar situations too.
Well, if we're following along the governor's recommendation that we look for ways of cooperating with other governmental units, I think we'd be foolish not to contact and see what we can work out. Just makes sense.
Okay. Anything else, Bill?
No,
Motions are
that's it.
receive and file.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
one quick question. Bill, when might we see a drawing of what the convention center is gonna look like? Everything we've seen so far has been conceptual. Any ideas?
Well, I would say probably within about 60 days.
Okay, thank you.
Miscellaneous or?
Receive and file administrator's report. Did I have a motion and a second?
I'd like to move to receive and file packets that were sent to commissioners, packets at their places, and any other information presented.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Adjournment.
Move we adjourn.
Support?
All in favor?
Aye.
We hope you enjoyed this week's St. Clair County Board of Commissioners meeting. Your St. Clair County Commissioners broadcast these meetings on Comcast Local Access Channel 12 every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. If you have any questions on any part of this program, please feel free to contact your St. Clair County Board of Commissioners or staff. You can find their contact information, the meeting agenda, and videos of the meetings at www.stclaircounty.org.